Time to commentate over this. So I'm going to break down what I'm doing in this video so everyone can kind of understand how to set certain things up on on this map at least. I'm just going to break down one of my gameplays really. So at the beginning there, you seen I threw the shock off the map. That's really good because it stops people from just jumping on your shock grenade and finding out where Lando's at. So as you can see right here, I was kind of just peeking that corner. That's a very important tactic. Peeking corners, so not only so your enemy can't see you, but also so you have an angle so you're harder to hit. So at that point I realized no one's coming through, and I run back into the cave with my two teammates in the public match. And I'm like, okay, so they're sitting at the front of the cave, so I guess I decided I was going to go to the back of the cave here. And I'm kind of watching. I'm kind of just seeing like, oh, where are they at? Can I get a good power blast shot on them? So here I mistakenly thought I could get a good shot on Vader, but it didn't work out. He was too far away. I'm kind of watching around here. Wait for my power blast to come back. They're at the front of the cave. I'm on the back power blasting for anyone who's pushing up. So Greedo, I believe, is going to push up pretty soon. And if I would have got the 6 blast on him, it would have been good, but I got only the splash damage, so I'm going to wait a minute and probably see. Maybe a soldier will push up first, we'll see. Just trying to shoot some infantry, but honestly from range, it's going to be a pain, especially when they're jumping through the sky. So I see Greedo, I charge up to 6 here, I shoot, and I only get the splash damage. Try to get a couple aim shots, but I realize it's not worth it at this point, and Vader is pushing up. I should have noticed a little more, but once I kind of realize, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to push back into the cave, and then I'm going to try to power blast them because I think they're going to come in, but they're not, so I'm kind of sitting behind the rock here. I try to power blast. Nothing really comes of it, I guess, so I just back up to my teammates again. Wait for my power blast to come back. I believe Vader, yeah, Vader's going to be right here, so I get a couple shots on him, backup fire shots. And at this point I realize, oh, I got power blast, so I'm one blasting him to stun him so he can't get away. And Vader dies, so I just decide, screw it, let's just rush Greedo. I'm already high up on my trait. I kill off Greedo here. Alright, now we'll wait for the next clip to load up. Definitely should have delayed it or sped it up just a tad bit more. It's alright. So we got Lando again, and I just felt like playing Lando this game, I guess, so I decided I was going to keep going with him. Same thing off the start here, always dropping the shock off the map so no one could step on it, because it's nothing more annoying. So I realize that there's two teammates, and they're going two different ways, and I'm like, well, this is retarded, but I decided that it is a better option to go with Chewie, because he's the more important of the two, so I go with Chewie here. And Chewie's just kind of shooting out, and at this point I'm kind of just thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I don't really have much cover going here, so I need to get a good angle at least. So I sit over here at the side of the cave. I'm like, oh, thermal imploder, you know, get out of there. Don't want to get hit by that off the start of the game. Try to kill an infantry, but I guess it didn't really turn out to be worth it. So I noticed Dengar's on the side here. He didn't really see me, so I was charging up my blast before he noticed. Getting a couple shots on Palpatine since he's kind of in the main door, but I realized I'm going to have to back up because Lando is just not that good at close range. Got to take out the soldier first here. Don't want to take too much damage from the soldier, so I take out the soldier. Kind of getting up top here, watching, and I'm gonna go over soon enough. I'm gonna go over back by that rock. Yeah, I'm kind of watching right now to make sure that no one comes through. When I go over by the rock, Palpatine's gonna be kind of coming out, and he doesn't notice me. So I turn on my power blast and I charge it to 2 just to start, and then I spam 1 blast. Palpatine flies out, and I'm like, at this point, I just see Vader rushing. Palpatine ran away, but I'm the only one left alive. So I decide, oh, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. So I start running off, which was a really good call, by the way. I mean, Lando can't take on all three of the villains, so he's running away. I turn on my power blast. Vader is really there, but he's behind the wall, so I'm like, shit, I wasted it. I should not have. Now, this is the biggest mistake I probably made the entire game. I came back to the back here, and the villain surrounded me, and I was dead. I'm still going to get 300 here off Vader, but it doesn't really matter. So, with that clip, I honestly should have kept going up the hill, and I might have actually been able to pull something off, but I just didn't. I don't know. Happens. My mistake. So here I'm going all the way out to the end because I realized my teammates were going this way, and I spam one blast because I got Dengar in a stun lock here. So I take out a soldier. I get like, what, I don't know, 200 on Dengar. So I'm sitting back, waiting for my power blast, not being too out in the open. Get a couple shots on Vader while he's pushing up. Not much I can do. No power blast. So I realize out in the distance Dengar is behind there, but I can't power blast him because he's hiding. So I turn on my power blast. Palpatine's out in the open. Hit him with a bunch of one blasts, and then I knew Dengar was there, so he peeked, and I hit him with like, what, a 3, and then I hit him with the ending blast that did like a charge at the end, getting like another 300. So as you can see, I'm kind of keeping my distance here. You don't want to get too close to the villains. I'm kind of staying out on the outer edge where I can push back, but I can also attack at the same time. I'm kind of realizing they're not coming out, so I go up to the right side here and I turn on my power blast. Get a couple shots off on Vader. It isn't really much. I mean, I think it's about an even trade. I got about 200, but he got a saber throw. It wasn't really worth it, but it wasn't a pain either. So at this point I realize I'm low on health and I'm gonna die if I don't get a health pack. So Leia is nice enough to give me a health, whatever random that is, you know. Shout out to them. Most randoms won't give you healths, so just spam 1, 2 blasts. Dengar was too low to really do anything. So I get back here, I'm kind of peeking around the corner, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, but since they're not there, I just decide I'm going to push back to the other side. I mean, it's worth it. We already took out one of their guys, and we're going to win the round anyway if the timer runs out. So right here, I'm kind of peeking, and I just decide to stay behind this rock for a minute. And the reason why is because if they're pushing up and they're trying to push up from the side that we're coming through, I can power blast them. So I'm just kind of sitting here and I'm kind of waiting, and I'm like, why is someone shooting at me in my own team? And I just realized it's Leia giving me another health, which is great. They decided not to push that way, fortunately, so I come back over here to the right side. Vader's up top. I get a couple shots off of him here, 50 plus. Vader's kind of just sitting back, and I'm going to turn on my power blast here. I'm going to stun him, a bunch of 1 blasts. I'm going to charge high, 3 blast, and then I'm going to charge it and I'm going to turn it off to get extra damage. Alright, cutting to the next round, I believe, pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, so again, dropping the shock. I don't know if I dropped it off that time. I might have just not noticed and no one stepped on it, but make sure you get it off the side of the map if you're gonna do that. So I come off here to the left side again, back where I was before, wondering really if they're just gonna do that push again. So I noticed they're not, so I'm gonna run through the right side here, and I'm gonna try to see if they're here, try to get some power blasts off, but no one's here, so I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, they're not gonna come out. They're sitting in that cave, and Vader pushes up a little bit, so I just had the idea to run up to the side metal piece there and on the slant and slightly go up the ramp and just power blast down on Vader. As you can see here, Vader's coming out and he has no idea. I'm just power blasting down on him. I get 300 without taking any damage. I'll eventually get hit by a saber throw. Doesn't matter. Get back up top. And At this point, no one's really pushing out. They're all still camping out there. So come over here to the side. We're just still looking to wait to see if anyone's going to push out, because a lot of people do. And I realized they're pushing from the right side, and I'm like, okay, well, we can't jump down. So I jump down here over on the AT that's tipped over, turn on my power blast, and I power blast a little bit down on them while they're trying to go through the right side. Pick up the health, and at this point I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, so they're pushing up on us, they're rushing us, I gotta get back. Kind of run in a little bit unpredictable pattern and stay by the right side of the wall, you know. So I notice 9Nub dies. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get back. So I get back, I'm right behind the wall here, and basically just waiting to see if anyone's gonna peek, because they're rushing that way. I was thinking, okay, somebody's gonna eventually peek. So I believe Palpatine eventually does, and I gotta rush back again anyway. But I don't know. I might not drop my shock. I guess I didn't. Charge up to 6, charge up to 2, and then a bunch of 1 spams and a pop shot. So I got 300 there. I know I got to get back, so I'm starting to run, and I drop my shock again, just hoping somebody doesn't step on it, even though they probably will. Yeah, still a plus 50 for me. I get back. They're pushing into the cave. I charge 1, 1, 1. Another power blast. It didn't hit, so I back up a little more, not noticing the time. The timer ran out, and we lost the round. Alright, we're back with Lando again. And I guess I cut ahead a little more in this clip, but I don't know. I probably just dropped it off the map. So I'm spamming here, and I noticed I kind of messed up. I'm like, why did I turn the power blast on? Still got 100, but it wasn't really worth it. Sitting back, just trying to watch out for them if they're going to push. And no one really seems to be pushing or doing anything, so I'm just kind of watching to see if anyone is going to make a move. And I guess not. I mean, I ain't really seeing much. They're not doing too much. I'm not sure exactly what I do in this clip. I didn't watch this one over too much. I just get a little bit of damage on Palpatine, 250, because of that ending pop shot there. Kind of pushing back, and I'm like, oh, soldiers. Always try to kill the soldiers right off the bat if there's no heroes there, because I just don't want to deal with the damage they can inflict. So I guess I go around. I'm just seeing, I'm like, are they going to come off that walker? And Palpatine decides to jump out, and I power blast him. Get another 350, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was 250. I got 350. I'm kind of just doing that thing where I just kind of head glitch a bit behind the walker. I get my cooling flush, get another 250 with my regular blaster on Garrido here. And then I'm kind of pushing back, and I'm like, okay, we got a good amount of damage on him. Pushing back a little bit, trying to get a good angle to finish one of them off. So I go over here, soldiers trying to have a gunfight, you know how that works out. Luke's gonna take care of the soldier, and I'm like, shit, 9Nub dies. Turn on my power blast, I believe. Charge it up to 3. Take out Garrido by mistake. I actually intended to shoot Bosk, but Greedo was in the way, so be it. So then I'm kind of running off here, and I'm like, oh shit, I should have ran the other way. I realized I fucked up. I get a couple shots off here on Bosk. Missed my power blast, and then I'm dead. I believe this is it. I get 330 on him. I'm too low, so I die off. And then Luke dies soon after, maybe like a second or so. So the last round I just decided to mix it up, and I picked Han. Pushing the right side towards the cave so we can kind of camp it out a little bit here for the last round. Using a little bit more just practicing certain strategies, I guess, in public matches. I get a lucky shot here off of Bosk. He's just kind of sitting up top. No one's really coming through the middle. I look, no one's really doing anything. Looking to see if Bosk is up top. He eventually peeks again, or Dengar does. Get another lucky and get another 50. I don't know why. I thought the lucky was supposed to be at least like 150. I don't know why it's 50. That's okay. I don't care. Palpatine pushes. I get another lucky 150. And then I turn on my rapid fire here. I'm kind of just head glitching behind the rock. So Palpatine's going to push. I'm going to rapid fire him while he's concentrating on 9-Nub. He dies. I realize I got hit by the mines, so I use my shoulder charge to push back in the cave. Then we have Bosk and Dengar pushing up, trying to lucky shot them to get them out of the front door. And so, because Bosk is noob tubing and jumping, I'm sitting behind the far distance rock and rapid firing him. Shoulder charging the soldiers so I don't have to deal with them. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, what should I do? I think I get a health from Leia soon here. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. I'm just going to rush Dengar. So I push out of the cave here. I'm looking kind of to the right of me. I shoulder charge, get a little bit of rapid fire, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Dengar's like one shot, though, and he dies off. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, we got this in the bag. My health's kind of low, but we got two people. You got one. Leia's going to drop me another health because this is a good teammate, you know, and good teammates do this. And I fuck up a little bit here. I get shot quite a bit by Bosk. Luckily, I got that ending lucky shot. I'm like, I'm on 2, so I'm going to die here. So I back up behind a rock, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a little damage before I die. So I shoot him a couple times, and I hit him with the shoulder charge. And then Leia gets maybe the last shot on him while he was on 10. And that is my commentary.